The name of the show is The Way to Go. My name is Alan Bendich. I'm going to be your host, and tonight we have a very special guest, Mr. Reuel Matthew. He's a custom tailor, a designer, and an actor. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me, Alan.
It's my pleasure being here. Right. So you are the first custom tailor I've ever met.
Oh, wow.
And, well, not ever met, but ever had on the show.
I'm flattered. I have to dust my shoulder off real quick, you know.
So, and I know that, you made a suit for JT, who is our casting director.
Absolutely, yeah, for JT's birthday. He's a good friend of mine. He's cast me in a few background roles, things like that. So he actually asked me to do some work for him for his birthday, so. Well, put something together for him.
Well, he did look good. I mean, I saw the pictures, and he looked fantastic. So it's great to have you on the show.
Awesome.
So, what you've done? How did you get into custom tailoring?
Very good question, and let's start from the very beginning.
Right.
So I'm originally from Trinidad and Tobago. I was born there.
Oh, you were born there?
Born in Port of Spain Hospital.
Wow.
I spent the first 2 years of my life in Trinidad. And where we lived, in a place called Mova, my mother, she was a seamstress. She tailored for a lot of the people in the community. Her aunt did the same thing, tailored for a lot of people in the community. I have family in Tobago that did the same thing, so definitely roots in that arena. However, moving to New York, my father was a minister. He ran a church, and seeing him also dressed up kind of was an inspiration. But originally, I wanted nothing to do with tailoring or designing. I wanted to be in business, so I went to business school. I went to Baruch College.
Well, I got my master's degree at Baruch College.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
MBA. Right?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
It's a great school.
Yeah.
Especially for accounting, and that's what you did, right?
That's what I did. I went into accounting.
That's one of the best accounting schools in the country.
In the country, absolutely, absolutely. And I, somebody growing up in East Flatbush, I just wanted something stable, something that'll pay the bills. So I ended up going to Baruch and majored in accounting. Did back then they had the 5-year master's program. You do a bachelor's and master's in 5 years. Cool. Although it took me 6.5 years, but still I got it done.
Well, I don't want to say how long it took me to get my degree, but that's a separate.
All right, I don't feel so bad. Exactly. So got that done. Started at Ernst & Young right out of college. So I was an intern there my junior year.
Ernst & Young they were our auditors when I was the acting CFO of the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation. We had them as our auditors.
Interesting. I'm never surprised when I mention Ernst & Young how many connections I made.
We used to just call them E&Y.
E&Y, and now it's EY.
Oh, that's what it is?
Yeah, absolutely. So I spent the first 5 years of my career mainly there. I worked with some small boutique firms as well.
That's a crazy lifestyle. I mean, how many hours do you have to put in day and night? Just crunching numbers.
Absolutely, yeah, a lot of Excel,
Yeah.
It's based on project. You can be on a busy project and work till 1 a.m., but then you can have a slow project, work till 6. So it really depends.
And you have to be skeptical of everything you're looking at.
Absolutely.
And you have to be,
Absolutely.
You can't take it for free.
I was an auditor, so walking into the building, they're like, instead of saying, hi, good morning, they're like, the auditors are here, and they're like, looking around.
I'm those guys that say the auditors.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I am now, so.
So after
our audit starts next week, but it's
it's
a not-for-profit magazine. But,
gotcha. I used to put those together too, benefit plans, all that good stuff. But
so how'd you make the switch?
After a few years doing it, I kind of was looking at all the different skills that I had and looking at ways that I can generate income independently, because I really had the drive in me to be an entrepreneur. So even taking a step back, I've been planting seeds in custom tailoring since college. Wow. So I did my first fashion show. It's actually on YouTube for Baruch College. I dressed about 16 kids up in suits. Already started leveraging those tailoring connections. Before I started the business, didn't have a website, anything. So I started planting seeds a while, back. But when I really felt like the business was ready to go operational, that's when I left corporate America and, just started building my company.
Were you nervous at all when you left?
Absolutely. Definitely nervous. When you're the new guy and no one is wearing your clothes yet, you're like, are people gonna like me? Are they gonna like what I do? But, you just believe in yourself, believe in the...
So what year are we talking about now when you made the switch?
I left corporate in 2016. 2016, late 2016.
Late 2016.
Late 2016.
And I think one of the clips you gave happened in 2016 too. I mean,
Yeah, absolutely.
You brought 2 clips?
Yes, 2 clips. So one is my inaugural fashion show, which was September of 2016. That was like the big launch event for Egami. And the second one was a recent photo shoot that we did with a popular model.
Well, would you like to share the first one with?
Yeah, absolutely.
So what was it again? It was a 2016
2016 New York Fashion Week. We rented our capsule studio in Union Square.
Right.
We, did our own independent show, all curated by myself and my team, Solomon, Annette, a few folks that was working with me at the time.
Right.
And yeah.
Okay, so let's watch the video.
One nation. Whoa, so nasty. Can I get your number, girl? Can I get your number, girl? Can I get your number, girl? Oh, she smile at me. I don't really know what it means. Me, I'm in a bit of a limbo, but still I will make a move on this young lady. Can I get your number, girl? Can I get your number, girl? Can I get your number, girl? Me, I wanna call you. See, I want your number, girl. Can I get your number, girl? Can I get your number, girl? Me, I wanna call you.
Wow, that was beautiful. Such nice lines and
Thank you.
a little bit of flesh. It's
Absolutely.
like sexy.
Yeah, exactly.
But also professional looking and hot.
Right.
And it's beautiful. Beautiful stuff, man.
What you said is exactly how I would define our brand. Sexy, but still elegant, still professional. It's a mix of everything, you know?
And it doesn't hurt that when you have beautiful models.
Absolutely, absolutely. We had some great people come out for us, like Jessica.
But as beautiful
as
the clothes were, right before the show, how were you feeling?
I mean, literally right before the show, me and my partner Solomon, we were trying to set up the step and repeat, and we actually broke the step and repeat, and pretty much were trying to fix it for
so you were
before
really nervous,
the
right?
show started. And it has your logos on it. It's like the focal point of doing your own show, showing your logos and all your sponsors. So, but we got it up in time for the show.
So what was the response at the end?
A lot of great stuff. Everyone was saying they loved the show, they loved the music. Since it was independent, I used my own playlist, my own selection of songs. They loved the fashion, they loved the models. A lot of the models we used were from the community. We didn't go to the high-end casting companies for $1,000 per hour models. We used the people from the community.
But they were beautiful. I mean, you chose wisely.
Yeah, you'll be surprised how much gems you have right in the community, and they all were volunteered. So, yeah, it ended up being a great event for the community.
And so has the communities, helped you out going forward after that?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I had, just right after the event, we had about $4,000 of pre-order suits, just people pointing out what they saw on the runway.
For individuals?
Yeah,
or?
for individuals. So just setting up appointments, meeting with people, trying to.
Were there stores or buyers at the first one?
I'm not aware. I know that there were a few people that got invited that I had no idea were there, like a former basketball player, Anthony Mason Jr. was there.
Really?
Someone told me. I had no idea.
That's amazing.
So people were just referring other people. And
were you on another another
I couldn't
plane?
even focus on who was there because I was just focused on the success of the show. I'm running around, making sure everything is done the right way, the looks come out right, etc.
So was the after the show, was it like just
oh yeah,
crash
absolutely,
time or
absolutely.
whatever?
I mean, well, we had to pack up to get out of there because we had a strict cutoff, and we would have to pay extra if we stayed there longer. But once that was done, once we got this stuff out, then it was like.
So you had all these.
But
orders.
then we had after party, and then it was like.
That's
so
the
it was
best
just
part.
kinda
Well, that's fun too.
Exactly.
So you had these orders,
Right.
and were you doing? Did you have people working with you actually doing the sewing or whatever it is?
Yeah,
the
so
tailoring?
we contract
okay.
2 tailors in New York and 3 overseas.
Okay.
So between that group of 5 tailors, that's essentially our supply chain for Egami. And whatever orders come in, we source accordingly based on what fabric you need. This tailor may have it, this tailor may not. Some do leather, some don't do leather.
So how long is a turnaround? Like if someone
it's
says,
made
I
in
want
New
that
York,
dress.
if it's made in New York, 5 days.
Wow, okay.
Maybe less. Overseas, 2 weeks or more.
Do you ever see people wearing your clothes when you're out? In other words, without even, like, just accidentally bumping into someone that's wearing your clothes?
Well, the folks that I order from, I mean, I know personally all of them because I'm meeting them. I'm the one taking the measurements, either me or Solomon who works with me.
Because you're doing it to fit that individual.
It's made to measure, exactly. It's all 100% custom. So.
But at some point, you know, there might be a time when, you know, no matter how much you custom it doing individuals,
Right.
eventually there's going to be a time when you might have orders from stores and stuff like that.
Absolutely, and that's something we look forward to, you know, having things in retail and then walking and just seeing like, wait, I recognize that, that's Agami, wow. I do, however, run into people.
That's the name of your...
Agami, exactly.
It sounds like, you know, it's a name that you already think you've heard of already. You know, it's like, it's got a name that sounds, it's like, got a great name.
Yeah, it's like some people compared it to origami, the Japanese word, and it does have a Japanese name, but really Agami, a number of things. Agami is image spelled backwards.
Oh.
So that's, it kind of shows like you're enhancing your image when you wear our product kind of thing.
It's like image in a mirror.
Exactly.
Wow, that's crazy.
But also, Agami is also a play on how I started the business because my first tailor was in Hong Kong.
Wow.
All right, so my first tailor was in out of China who did a lot of my initial work. Amazing bespoke tailor. So the name has numerous meanings, but.
So you have a partner that you work with?
Right now, no. I have employees, salespeople who work with me.
So how big is your company at this point?
One.
But I thought you said you have
one, but like contractors.
Right.
Like I have someone in DC who helps with local work out there. Right. I have someone in New York who helps with local work. So.
And who are you dressing? And
right now, the list is pretty large. Like we do first of all, everyday community. That's like number one of the source of
so a person every day can come
of our
to you.
orders. Absolutely, we do weddings,
and then this starts looking like really great.
Absolutely.
So that's awesome.
I do a lot of weddings. I do a lot of work for members of Alpha Phi Alpha, which is a popular fraternity. They order from me all the time.
That's great.
I do work for the AME Church. You know, just everyday people. But then we do work for some celebrities like Johnny Gill. I did 2 tuxedos for his
So you make
tour.
tuxedos. Oh my God.
Yeah, yep. And
that's crazy.
His stylist is a friend of mine, so she hooked that up. We also did Miss World Ethiopia. We dressed her for a photo shoot. We have Jasmine Mativier. She's a good friend of mine who also models our clothes.
I know one of the princes of Ethiopia.
Oh, really?
Well, his name is Bekele Selassie.
Oh, wow.
He was, believe it or not, I was a bartender in Bronxville, and he was hiding out in Bronxville because his entire family in Ethiopia was killed.
Wow.
And he was living with another family.
Wow.
And I only knew him as Beck, but I knew who his great grandfather was.
Wow, that's
And,
amazing.
it was pretty amazing. And now you look online, and he's not the crown prince, but he's the I forgot his brother is the crown prince.
Oh, really?
And he's the viceroy. That's what he is. He's the viceroy of Ethiopia.
That's amazing.
I know. Anyway, I'm sorry.
No, Ethiopia. I think they have some of the best fashion.
Right. And they had pretty good busboy, but he became a prince.
People tell me I look Ethiopian, you know?
Right.
They tell me I have the features. I love it there. But yeah, they're Kissinette, she's like their ambassador. She came down and did a photo shoot with us, which turned out to be amazing. It was part of our Suits and Skin promo for Spring Fashion Week. Ty Grant, retired NBA player from the Hornets.
So
we dressed him.
And do they bring their friends? Or,
Absolutely. They all refer people. So we do work for
So what's the next step for you in terms of, like, you're here now. You have a certain level of success. You're doing well. But what's the next step for you?
The next step is continue to address the community. On what scale, that's what we're working on.
It's more of a scale situation.
Exactly, just scaling what we're already doing, having a Reuel Matthew in every major city, in LA, DC, Toronto,
So the dream, see, the thing I was thinking about lately, even with myself, because I have other shows that I'm thinking of doing and stuff, is really that you have to, the whole thing is not just dreaming big, but to really, make it happen.
Absolutely.
And but what's your dream? I mean, to have it in every state, like you just stated, right? Is that the dream?
My dream, I'll say it like this. I would like for when people mention New York fashion,
right,
they can't mention it without saying Agami.
Oh, that's it.
That's my dream. And whatever, develops between achieving that dream, whether retail deals, whether just dressing celebrities, whether just dressing the community, I'll take it as it comes, But I am working bit by bit on all these avenues of getting Agami out there.
So you had this wonderful video that you showed before, and that was really, that's the stepping off point for you, right? That's when you first started.
Right.
I know that you brought another video. Would you like to share that one also, just so we can see what's happening now?
What we're doing now, exactly.
And when was this? A little background for it.
So this is again a model, Jasmine, who's she kind of cross promotes with us. She has her own brand, Royalty, that she's promoting, and she helps us with Agami. So we did a shoot together to kind of put our designs on her and kind of show, her beauty with our designs, and that actually came together with this video we're about to see here.
Okay, and what's the model's name again?
Jasmine.
Jasmine. So let's take a look at Jasmine in this video. So that was beautiful, and she's beautiful. And the clothes, again, it's a classy, sexy.
Right. Edgy and classy and professional.
Maybe sexy is the bad word.
Mushed in together
nice.
to make Agami. That's basically what we look for. Because I want myself to look high end.
Right. That's the look that you have over there. Definitely.
Absolutely. But I also wanted to make it look attainable, like the everyday person can wear it.
Right.
So
that's awesome. So where can we find you? I mean, we would come to you, or how does someone get close?
Well, a number of things. We have, of course, our website where people can reach out and contact us to schedule an appointment.
And what's the name of that website?
AgamiCollection.com.
Agami again is image backwards.
Image spelled backwards, correct.
Okay.
But we also just signed up on Booksy, which is a scheduling app. Okay. Where it gives our clients access to our calendars real time, so they can see my availability, they can book me, and then I can come to people with the materials, with the measuring tape, with the swatches, with the samples,
That's awesome.
And design an outfit for them.
That's great.
So there's some real time apps and that we're partnering with to kind of get that out there to the customers.
So how many employees do you expect, like in the future, to actually be doing this stuff for you? Because, I mean, eventually there's going to be like 10, 20, 30, 100 people trying to get your
Right. No, absolutely. Based on the demand, we want to scale accordingly.
And then the question also, I mean, one thing that I always wonder about is like when you have let's say even if you have franchises or whatever, how do you know that one person who's making a suit is going to be that same suit that another person's going to, like in other words,
right.
That's the whole thing, is to make sure that there's a consistency.
This is exactly why I've scaled carefully,
right.
For that exact reason, because it's a very intimate thing. It's something that I've started. I know I've worked with my tailors for going on 4 or 5 years now.
Right.
Someone who I bring on new is not that familiar with what the information that the tailors need. Because I'm not making the clothes myself, but at the same token,
right.
I am the one managing every aspect of their labor. Right. So I'm communicating with them overnight. Right. If it's overseas, sometimes they're up at 3 a.m. asking me questions. Hey, can you confirm this person's height, weight, this? What fabric do we want? This fabric is out. Can we use this? This. So I'm communicating with them real time. They're sending me pictures, showing me updates.
Right.
So I'm managing that.
Right,
So
I mean, it's your baby.
It's my baby. No one's going to spend that amount of time, right? So scaling it just has to be right. And right now it's more so doing quality work and meaningful work than just trying to scale meaninglessly.
Do you ever think you'll ever find someone that will be able to understand your image? I mean, like just another person that can help manage that image. You know what I mean? Or is this always going to be something that?
Absolutely. I think so. It's not hard, and it's just taking the time to find that and scale that. Right now, we're just focusing on New York, DC. Those are my main markets. I get a lot of work out of DC, a lot of work out of New York, and Philadelphia, and Jersey. So those 4 states. So far, I've been doing the work myself. If I get a call, I just went out to DC. Like a few guys from Alpha Phi Alpha contacted me to go there to do some work. It was a big group, so I went out there. Took an Amtrak. I was out there in 3 hours. So
you have the vision, and you're able to communicate that to the people who are actually doing the work. Have there ever been a time when like the clothes come back and it's slightly different than the vision that you've created?
Absolutely. When you're dealing with human beings, there's always going to be exception.
Right.
And
how do you deal with
before
exception?
settling on these 5 tailors, yes. I've gone through a number of tailors and stopped using them because I didn't feel like they were meeting the expectations. Right. Now, there's 2 ways to deal with expectation, as you just pointed out. It's one, clearly communicating your capabilities. Right. And, I've had to do a better job of that, and we're doing a better job of that now. If somebody says, hey, yeah, I want a suit, but, I want really long tails, and I want a slit in the middle, and then I want this side to be orange, this side to be blue, and I want leather lapels, and, first you got to say, wait, these are my capabilities, right? And you can't compromise on those capabilities. If you can't do something, you got to tell them you can't do something. And if somebody wants something that specific, then we'll use tailoring in New York, where we can bring them to the tailor. The tailor can communicate directly to that client. Hey, look, I can't do this. I can't do that. And then we go from there. But the first thing you have to do is set your capabilities up front. And if those capabilities can be met, then you take the order. If they can't be met, then you say, look, maybe somebody else is a better tailor for you.
But I guess like with everything in life.
Absolutely.
Communication is the key.
Communication is key.
And transparency.
Transparency, yes.
Right, you shouldn't set people's expectations differently than the reality of the situation. But,
absolutely. But
at the same time, you're an artist.
Yes.
So, that's one of the things that separates people is like there's people who can sew and all this, but the person who actually creates the art.
The person who creates the art and the person who does the designs. Like I use apps that, I downloaded. I have an iPad where I have apps where I can make different creations, and a lot of times I'm working real time with the tailors. Hey, this is something I think will be cool. Let's do this. Let's prototype it. Let's see how it comes out. A lot of things on my Instagram are things that I make for myself as prototypes to see, look, let's play around with this length, like we did a long tuxedo in a blue brocade pattern, and it got picked up by Fashion Police, and they
said, that's awesome.
Yeah,
that's fantastic.
They commented on it. They said it was a really cool design.
When you hear stuff in the media about your stuff, I mean, it's got to be such a rush. I mean, it's got to be like, it must be so wonderful.
Yeah, because they're normally pretty critical on people. They're the ones who are saying, this is horrible, but they actually liked our design. So, yeah, just,
And I could see that you're very focused. I mean, do you minimize distraction as a result of this, or do you also have other outlets for your? I mean, we were talking about you're interested in acting,
right?
And
absolutely,
some other things.
Absolutely, and I just turned 30 years old.
Right. So you're young.
So
you're
relatively,
just a kid.
Relatively young. Right. I wouldn't say I'm a kid, but
I would, because I'm over twice your age.
There you go. You look young.
Yeah, right. Yeah, look at my
just
arteries.
A kid.
No,
I'm kidding.
No, but that's great.
But
but I know artists. at least my sense is that people who are artists could be good musicians. They could be. They have this way.
It's
of,
funny you mention that because I do music production as well.
I didn't know that.
And music is I would say my first passion is music. I've been playing the piano since I was 5 years old.
So have I.
Wow.
I played classical piano mostly.
Me too.
That's it.
For release.
Having my fingers like this.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Turkish march.
All this stuff.
I can play from start to end a lot of these pieces.
That's fantastic.
A lot of people don't know that about me.
But it's amazing, though, that creative people have many outlets for their creativity.
Many different ones. I used to draw, too.
Right.
I used to take art lessons. People
like my
don't
best
know.
buddy in Hollywood. I lived in Hollywood during the 80s. He was an artist. And he was also a musician.
Right.
And it was like both he was phenomenal in. And it's like true artists, I think, have to get their art out one way or another.
You know what? That's something that was burning inside of me. Just sitting in an office, like cranking Excel for hours.
But there's an art to that as well. But that's only if you're willing to get rid of all the other
Believe
arts.
it or not, I was one of the best in Excel. And I used to train the partners on how to do VLOOKUPs and pivot tables.
Same thing with me with Lotus, because I was like the Lotus expert.
Right.
I used to work at Sony.
Right.
But the thing is, it's the same creativity when you start doing macros and things like that.
Absolutely.
It's just a matter of, and math and music.
Yeah.
They're the same, basically.
You're a very wise man, absolutely.
Well, I don't know how wise I am. I'm old. I might not be. I'm not so sure. But the whole thing is that math, music, science, all these things that the way things interrelate to each other and the way life is. And some people see it and some people don't.
Wow.
And the people that see it are able to be artists.
That's deep.
And
absolutely.
the people who don't emulate that. They want it. They want to be that person. So
absolutely.
It's so cool.
A lot of people ask me how was I able to pass the CPA exam and now do artsy things.
Right.
And I said, look, there's an art to studying. There's an art to everything.
My father would say that you have to enjoy life. You have to really love life.
Absolutely.
And just be open to it. You know. And a lot of people are just like most of the accountants I know, because that's what I do also. Their life is like this. Everything is like they don't want to go beyond this part. They don't want to go beyond here.
Right.
And it's like this.
Right.
They're doing their just account analyses and that's it.
Right.
And a lot of people just do their jobs every day. They come home, watch TV, whatever, and they go to sleep. Other people have dreams, and then they work on those dreams and they make their dreams come true. And that's what you did.
I'm one of those people.
That's it. You are. I'm kind of like one of those people too. But I stopped. I was in hibernation for 20 years.
Why 20 years? Why so long?
Well, because I was in Hollywood and it didn't work out. After it worked out, it didn't work out. And then I came back to finish up my education at Baruch College, got my master's degree there, got married, had 2 kids.
Wow.
And then 22 years after I left Hollywood, a buddy of mine who lives in Westchester, who I'm going to be doing production with in my next series, asked me if I wanted to be on something on Comedy Central. And I started acting again after 22 years of not acting. So
That's huge.
And it just opened up my life again. And then I came to LMC TV.
Wow.
And this is my 197th, I guess, episode.
Right.
And I love it. I love the people here. This place has been so important in my life, getting me to elevate myself from the doldrums of doing accounting. And all this.
Right.
So this is the things that because of this place, I'm able to do that stuff, the accounting stuff.
Absolutely.
Because you need that creative people need a creative outlet.
It is an outlet, and I remember Oprah saying something. I can't remember the exact words, but she said something like, "Untapped creativity, it metastasizes."
That's it.
Almost like a tumor.
Right. That's it.
And she said it really causes unhappiness because we are indeed creative beings.
That's it.
And we don't live to just go with the motions. We live to have an impact on lives, on people around us, things like that. So for me, it was like I'm surprised I stayed 5 years. In the back of my head, I'm like, I need to do this. I need to make money. I need to provide for my family and my future kids or whatever.
I hate to do this to you, but I need to do one thing too.
What's that?
There's only one thing left to say. That's a wrap, folks.